All right. So nth root just means that I can have roots that are bigger than 2. So they're not just squared. It can be the cube root, the 4th root, the 5th root, the 9th root, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So here's my biggest piece of advice. If you have an odd root, then negative numbers are okay. Meaning I can take the cube root of a negative number. If I have an even root, you can have no negatives inside. That's the next unit. Those are complex or imaginary. Okay, so you cannot have a negative inside an even root. So like 4th roots, 6th roots, square roots, you can't have that. So the root is tells you the number of groupings. So square root is a root of 2. We needed 2 of a kind. A cube root is 3. You need 3 of a kind. Are we catching on here? So the root equals the number of groupings, or the number, I don't know how to word that, like how many of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. Okay. So my first example will say I need the 4th root of 16, a to the 24th, b to the 13th. I still think the easiest thing to do is break it down with a tree if you need to, okay? Because we're not just square roots anymore. So 16 would be 2 times 8. Circle my 2. 2 times 4. And then 2 times 2. Am I going to write out 24 A's? No, because I know I need 4 of a kind, okay? But what I can write out are my numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. A to the 24th, B to the 13th. So I need groups of 4. Why do I need groups of 4? Because I have a 4th root. So I need all the 2's, all 4 of them, and it will come out as a 2. If I have 24 A's, how many groups of 4 can I take out? So I can take out 6 of them and I will have nothing left over. If I have 13 B's, how many groups of 4 can I take out? Will I have anything left over? Yes, it's just a B. Okay. Oh, there you go. And yes, I have just a B left over. So outside, I have 2, a to the 6, b cubed, with a root of b left over. Look here, this is where you're going to make your mistake. I have to keep the root. So this 4 has to stay here, and it has to look like the root, not like it belongs to the B or any other letter in front, okay? So it goes kind of in the check mark, yes, okay? It'll allow you to. It should allow you to, okay? All right. One has a star next to it. I don't really know what that means. All right, here we go. Let's try this one. 2/3 y squared z cubed. And then, oh, see, look, this is what's confusing. It's not z cubed. It's the cube root of -27 y to the 12th, z to the 7th. Okay. So first question, is it okay that there's a negative inside? Yes. Why? Because it's an odd root. Okay. So because it's an odd root, this negative is okay. It belongs. He's not here.
Okay, is that 2/3 y squared c
Yes,
cubed?
yes. Okay, so my 27 breaks down 3 times 9 and then 3 times 3. So if I would like to go rewrite all this a little bit nicer, have the cube root. And then I have 3 times 3 times 3, y to the 12th, z to the 7th. Now, what happened to the negative inside? If it is an odd root, the negative will automatically come outside, okay? So I have a group of 3 right here. So I now have a -3 outside. Because if I have +3, so if I have -3 times -3 times -3, what's a negative times a negative? Times a negative. So I have a -27. So my -3 cubed gives me a -27. No. Yes.
So, wait, what is it based on? So with the last one, we did the 4 twos. Why is this one only 3?
Because when I broke 27 down, I only had 3 of them.
So does that mean that we're breaking by that as 3?
Yes,
Is it based on like whatever?
it's based on the root.
Oh,
Okay. So it's based on my root. So if I have 12 y's, how many groups of 3 can I take out? So I can take 4 of them out. If I have 7 z's, exactly, loud, obnoxious, and annoying, cut it out. You're one of them. If I have 7 z's, how many groups of 3 can I take out? 2 of them, but what's left? I still have a z. So I have -3 times 2/3. What is -3 times 2/3? -2. I have y squared times y to the 4th. So what do I have? Y to the 6th. I have a z times z squared, which is z cubed. And then I still have a cube root with what's left inside, just a z. Okay. Y is what? Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Our next one, we got 2 left. So if I have the 5th root of 64, a to the 7th, b to the 12th, over 243, a to the 5th. Okay, so the first thing, if you don't have a calculator and you want one, I suggest you come get one real quick. 64 and 243, the first question you have to ask is, are those perfect 5th roots? You've got to figure that part out first. So if you want a yellow calculator, come get one real quick. So in your calculator, you need to know if it's a perfect root, and I can show you how to do that really quick if you don't know. You will hit Control, and then you're going to hit the caret top that says int to the x, this thing, okay? and it lets you type in a number. Well, we have a fifth root. And the first one is 64. Is 64 a perfect fifth root? Oh, okay, then right now we can stop. So the other one is, you are correct, okay? So, because we're gonna have to separate these into two fractions now. So if they are perfect, then it's easier, but if they're not perfect, we're gonna have to separate them into two different things. So I'm going to separate this into the fifth root of 64, a to the 7th, b to the 12th. And the fifth root of 243, a to the 5th. 64 is not a perfect fifth root, so we're going to have to break it down. So on your paper, break your 64 down. You can use 8 and 8, that's fine. And since this is the fifth root, how many of them do I need to take out? So I need 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And I can take out a 2. If I have 7 A's, I can take out 1 5, and then I will have a squared left over. If I have B to the 12th, I can take out 2 of them. And how many will I have left over? 2. So outside, I have 2AB squared. Still inside is a fifth root of 2A squared B squared. Everybody following so far? Okay. So all I've done is the numerator. Now we gotta go do the denominator. Is 243 a perfect fifth root? Yes, it is. So if I put it in my calculator, if you want to, your perfect fifth root of 243 gives me 3. What does that mean? That means I can just take out the 3. It's a perfect number. And if I have a to the 5ths, I can take out an a. So do I have anything left over? No, and I'll give you a huge red flag. Until next week, you should never have anything left over in your denominator. Okay? This is not my final answer though. Why is this not my final answer? I can simplify it. So the 2 and 3 can't simplify, but my A's can simplify. So I kind of made this messy. My final answer would be 2B squared, fifth root of 2A squared B squared, all over 3. Yes, ma'am.
Why did you put the cube root whatever of 5 on the bottom?
I'm sorry.
Okay. And the one on the right hand side. Yeah, that one. What happened to that 5?
There's nothing. Do I have anything left over inside? Then I can't have a radical. There's nothing to put inside. What's the square root of nothing? What's the fifth root of nothing? No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There's nothing inside. This is a root. This isn't a number outside. Okay. All right, let's try one last one, and then you can use the rest of the time to get your practice done. All right, the fourth root of 64, x to the 5th, y to the 10th, over the fourth root of 2xy squared. So this is the same type of problem. It's just written as 2 instead of 1, okay? You can rewrite it as 1, only if your roots are the same. So if I were to rewrite this as 1, I'd have a big 4th root. And I'm just going to rewrite it as 1 so that you can see what's going to happen. So I have 64 over 2. So I can actually simplify this into one very simple fraction. What is 64 divided by 2? 32. What is x to the 5th divided by x? X to the 4th. And what is y to the 10th divided by y squared? Y to the 8th. So now this looks a lot easier that it's not a fraction. So I can break 32 down. So if you need to break your 32 down, doesn't matter what numbers you use because you got to break it all the way down till you can't anymore. In this problem, what am I looking for? Groups of? Groups of 4. So I have 4 2's. I can take out 1 x and I'll have nothing left over. And then I can take out 2 y's. So I have 2xy squared, the 4th root of 2. Make sure that 4 is a root and it doesn't look like an exponent. Are there questions? Okay, you had homework that was due on Friday. If it's not done, I highly suggest you do it for a late grade. This is now 6.2 and it should say nth root on your Delta math. If I were a smart Algebra 2 student, I would make sure every single practice is completed before your test on November 3rd. I suggest you have them all done. Your choice. What?